So, what do you think of the movie, Jen?
I thought it was alright. I'm not a big fan of war movies, but this one seems realistic and interesting. How about you? What do you think of the movie?
I thought it was brilliant. For me, it was more than just a war movie. It was complex and profound.
Really? I agree. It was interesting, but profound. I don't know about that. I mean, it was okay, but still, it is a war movie. I'd rather see a movie that has more of story.
But I think this movie did had a very good story about human nature, not just about war.
Really? Human nature?
So many characters in the movie thought that the war was terrible, and they kept trying to avoid fighting. But the way they were talking about it was actually very poetic. It was brilliant and really moving.
I guess so. There were so many sad scenes, and so many people died. I think I wasn't in the mood for an exciting movie today.
Hmm, I see what you mean. I thought the movie was quite heavy as well. But anyway, let's go.
Are you okay?
No, a big truck came out of nowhere, hit my car, and drove away. Everything is such a mess. How could have this happen?
Take it easy, okay? Have you called the police?
No, in confusion, I forgot. I can't believe this. I spent $500 in repairs last week.
Are you okay? You are hurt?
No, that's a relief, but my neck actually does hurt.
Maybe you are hurt. Alright, now we're gonna call the hospital just in case.
But why me? Why couldn't the truck have hit someone else? This is really the last thing I need right now.
Hello?
911, how can I help you?
I'd like to report a hit and run car accident. My friend just had her car wrecked and she might be hurt.
Okay, sir. What's the address?
The address is 119 East Main Street. Please hurry. Where do you want to go sightseeing today?
I want to visit this temple I've read about in the guidebook.
Okay, but I will buy the entrance ticket.
Oh, I didn't realize we have to pay to get there.
Yes, in China there is small fee to enter museums, park and temples.
That's very different from back home. Have you ever heard of anyone paying to get into church?
You're right. In the West, you don't need to make a direct payment at the entrance, but the congregation is usually expected to make a small contribution during collection.
Oh, so you've been to England before?
Yes, I went there last year. I had the time of my life. Although it took a few days to adjust, the two cultures are so different.
Well, this is my first visit to China, and I've heard this temple is amazing. When was it built?
Pretty recently, but 150 years ago.
Well, that seems very old to me.
Considering China's 5,000 years old history, it's relatively new.
Do you go to that temple?
No, to my parents do.
To pray?
No, nowadays people just come in to pray for good luck and money.
A similar trend is occurring in the West, especially in regards of festivals. Many people still celebrate Christmas, although they might not be churchgoers.
Yes, it's interesting. We should find a taxi and go. So, what was the most interesting thing you saw in your trip to Asia?
Well, in Thailand, I saw a Buddhist temple where thousands of monks are actually living.
Fascinating. Did you get to talk to any of them?
No, they don't speak English, but I did try sitting and meditating with them.
I don't know that much about Eastern philosophy and or religion. I was brought up Christian. What about yourself?
Actually, I'm Jewish, but my parents always taught me to try to respect and understand another religions.
I went to church as a kid, but my parents thought I should choose on my own what religion to follow when I became a teenager.
That's cool. Sounds like both of our parents are pretty liberal about religious beliefs.
So, do you celebrate holidays like Christmas?
No, not in a spiritual way, but I do exchange gifts with my friends.
I guess for a lot of people, Christmas isn't much of a religious holiday anymore, is it?
Well, the world is changing. A lot of traditional customs and practices are altering or disappearing.
I think religion are all cease to be important.
Maybe, but religion plays a big part in so many people's life, just as the monks. Excuse me, I have to leave early.
Okay, how come?
It's my niece. She's at the airport. She's on her way to Japan, but she said that the travel agent gave her the wrong itinerary. She said she has to make 3 connections to get to Japan, and it will take 2 days to fly there.
It's gonna take 2 days? What's the problem?
No, she has to fly to Rome, then Paris, then Singapore, and finally Japan.
Really? She's going to Paris and then she needs to change the plan to Rome and then Singapore?
No, it's Rome first, then Paris second.
That doesn't make any sense. That's the bad itinerary. Why do you have to go to the airport?
No, she told me she has to pay $100 fee to change her ticket, and she doesn't have any money.
It doesn't like she didn't prepare anywhere very well, doesn't it?
Well, no, she didn't. But she's a teenager, and she hasn't traveled before. But unless she changed her ticket before her departure, she'll go to Rome and won't be able to get a direct flight to Japan.
Why not just call the travel agent?
Well, it's 6:15 and they close at 6.
Well, hurry up! You don't wanna get there after they've made the boarding announcement.
Okay, thanks for coming in to talk about the volunteer position. You're an accountant, right?
Yes, that's right. I ran an accountancy firm for 5 years, but then I sold the businessman and I'm looking for a job to keep busy during the week.
Okay, let's start by looking at your CV. Can you tell me what are you responsible for in your previous job?
In the accountancy firm, I managed a small staff and I kept the business running successfully.
Right. So you obviously have good leadership ability. What would you say your main strength?
Well, I'm pretty strong minded and very hardworking, but I'm also easygoing and I get along with most people.
Good. It's important to be warm and friendly if you work with the public. Do you have any special skills?
I'm very computer literate and obviously I have plenty of administrative and financial skills.
Excellent. Those are all useful. Now I'd like to ask you, what do you feel you can bring to our organization?
Well, it's been my goal to contribute more to the community. I'd like to think I could be a useful resource for members of the public and a friendly face to be around.
Perfect. The last thing I need to ask you about is your availability. Is there any time you won't be able to work?
Well, my daughter comes to visit on Thursday afternoon, but apart from that, I'm available all week.
Thanks for coming in, Mrs. Oaks. We'll be in touch early next week. Sorry I'm a bit late. Traffic was atrocious.
No problem. Well, I'll be showing you around today. Shall we get started?
Let's do it!
So, as you can see, it is an open plan office.
Yes, it's rather large. How many people work here?
We employed approximately 100 in this office alone. We've also got two plants outside the city with another 150 staffs.
So, quite large company then.
A very small company considering we are a public limited company. I guess we are medium size.
So, what do they do down here?
That's our sales department. That's our marketing department.
And this is the reception, right?
Yes, this is our main reception area. Oh, the phone is ringing. Mind if I answer it?
Okay, let me start by asking you a little about yourself. Why are you studying English?
Mainly because English allows me to communicate with people from all over the world, and I hope to study abroad and maybe work in an English speaking country one day.
So, where do you hope to study?
Well, I have applied to several places in the States and one in England.
And what would you like to study?
Well, I'm interested in reading, so maybe I'll study English literature. I'm also quite interested in linguistics, so maybe I'll study language as well.
Okay, so you're interested in different variations of English spoken around the world. Can you tell me some of the differences between American and British English?
Well, for one example, the present perfect tense is less commonly used in American English. For example, a British speaker will say, "Have you eaten?" But an American speaker will say, "Did you eat?"
Good. Can you think of anything else?
Well, there are many variations in vocabulary. For example,
Good afternoon, Mrs. Johnson. I've seen you've injured your arm here. How did that happen?
I was knocked down by a driver several days ago, and I broke my wrist. I'm afraid I'll be off work for 3 months or more.
How inconvenient. Can I help you in any way?
I hope so. I'd like to sue the driver for lost earnings. The police have charged him for reckless driving.
Okay, I'll need to take detailed notes about the accident. Are there any witnesses?
Yes. To give statement to the police saying the man was driving too fast.
That's very good. I can put together a case for you before the trial.
Can you explain the court proceedings to me?
You will appear before the court and be cross-examined by the defense lawyer. You may also be asked to identify the defendant. As the lawyer of the prosecution, I will act on your behalf.
And what should I say?
Just tell the judge exactly what you saw. Stick to the facts that you gave in your statement at the time of the crash.
And when I finish it?
Then, the jury will take your testimonial into consideration and reach a verdict. Jane, I want to find the weather forecast for tomorrow. What do I do?
First, you need to be connected to the internet.
Oh, alright. So use the mouse to click on this icon here on the desktop, right?
And then wait while the computer dials up. Because our modem only works at 64K. You want a faster connection? Will have to upgrade. Choose a search engine from your list of favorites and type in some keywords. That should do now. Click on search. Good. Click on the link that seems most helpful.
Why is it taking so long? Okay, now I've connected. What do I do next? How about weather forecast? Okay, right. Now I have a menu of different sites. Oh, this one's good. It has a satellite map, but It looks like it's going to rain.